Now I've got like stuff all over the place. Welcome. This is the second part of the stream. And for the rest of the stream, we're going to bring it home with game prep, campaign planning, and all the good things that come between. I love this because I get to do one of my favorite things, which is just plan and create games. And I stay totally interactive with all of y'all in chat. So if you're just joining and you haven't done so already, please do throw me a follow, say hello, stick around, be with us on the Checkmates. Give me your feedback. If you have any suggestions about some of the things that we're going through, then I greatly welcome it. This is relatively new. Last week I did this for the first time. The overlay's all new, so bound to be a couple of hiccups as we go through, so I'll ask you to be patient, bear with me. But definitely look forward to your feedback as we continue to go through this. Let me get out of here. Save that guy. I will open my session notes. There we go. And let's do this here. I need to find said session notes. And this is what we started last week. So right now I'm preparing the second segment of Scourge of the Nightingale, which is the campaign that I'm running with my Dungeon Masters Guild feature showcase, which airs every second Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If I've done this correctly, you'll see it right meow. God damn it. Here we go. Now you see it. Working out the kinks. Working them out. Working out the kinks. Feeling good about it. And then, of course, that is accompanied by the source materials, which we have right here. 1 for 2, y'all. 1 for 2. Why all these buttons not working? You know what? I think I need one of those, like, this thing. This is the universal sign for clickety button clicks for streamers. I think that's the technical term. Like one of those Elgato. That's the best description I have. Look forward to my thorough immersive DM descriptions in game. That's why I can't describe anything on stream, because I use all of my descriptive energy in my games. I save it for my players. So last week we started to build the campaign. We started to plan. I talked a little bit about my process. I won't go into too much detail on that. Unless you have questions about it, by all means, please let me know. Otherwise, I'll just kind of explain it as we go through. So I set up the session, the experience breakdown, which for me always splits out into story experience and combat experience. Story experience is individual. Sorry, it's group wide, but it's whole. So if you get 100 experience, then everyone gets 100 experience. Combat, I divide by the amount of combatants involved in the combat. So if I have 4 players, they earn 100 experience in combat, then they each get 25. Quick rundown on how I partition that stuff. Before every notes, I start with mandatory cues in this session, which is just a section that lets me keep in mind things that I know have to happen. And then I start by creating my scenes. We got pretty far into this, so I'm just going to get caught up where I was. We were at the part where they're meeting Hobart in a tavern. So quick context for you. This is the second part of a campaign that we're playing through where the characters have thwarted an abduction, a kidnapping attempt that was designed to secure ransom to generate funds so our villainess could continue to build her army. And she's building an army in the interest of exacting her revenge on the Hillsfar region for wrongs that she had suffered under some of the nobility who live in that region way back in her teens. So she's gone through her life. She has evolved in a certain way. No spoilers. Of course, I'm building the campaign, so there are bound to be some spoilers. And now she's starting to build an army to basically take the entire region of Hillsfar to task. In this case, we've followed the trail of clues that lead us to Hillsfar and her contact within Hillsfar, and we're hoping to investigate it further and learn a little bit more about her so that we can hopefully thwart her attempts at overturning peace and harmony in the Hillsfar region. So it's a little bit of a quick summary for you. Hockey all. You know, the problem with that, though, Seth, is I do have them all hotkeyed, and then I forget what the hotkeys are. That's my challenge. Brings back memories when I had the camera from above and the drawing maps. Yes, Seth is here from a time when I had 5 cameras. This was back like before there were a lot of like Critical Role style live streams, and we had a live home campaign. I had 2 cameras that were hung facing both sides of the table for my players. I had one that was faced on me as the DM, and I had another one that was hanging over the table displaying the hand-drawn maps that I used to do. I've taken that I have taken that operation entirely digital, Seth, and maybe later I'll show you a quick time lapse. I don't know if you've seen the digital maps that I'm doing now, but it's tremendous. I love it. I use 2 main tools in that. One is the Arkenforge Master's Toolkit, and the other is Flowscape. Amazing tools. You'll see that when we get into more map making streams as well. We might touch on a little bit of that today. So as we continue to go through, where do we leave off? We left off at the Diamond in the Dung. So they're currently in the tavern. They've found the contact, and we're talking about how the contact is interacting with them. We also know that there's a spy, an assassin placed in the tavern as well to keep an eye on them on behalf of the villainess, and this is something that they're going to have to jockey with over time. But the current focus NPC is Hobart Taggart. He is a retired assassin who owns the Diamond in the Dung, and he's a fence, basically. So he works with these underhanded characters to help them sell their illicit goods, if you will. Rough-looking chap with tawny skin and close-cut black hair. He has a broad smile accentuated by a scar near the corner of his bottom lip. This is how I basically make my character notes. So I bold the name. I say what their race, gender, and class is. And then I have voicing notes. So silky southern Matt McConaughey. So when they meet, Hobart Taggart, he might just be something a little bit loose like this. So welcome. What brings you to the bar? I see. Yeah, that's right. I'm Hobart Taggart. What can I do for you? But it's not quite like I don't want him to be Matthew McConaughey, you know what I mean? But it gives me a little bit of a draw to work with. So anyway, if our business is done here, you can see I'm quite busy as he gestures to the empty bar, kicks his boots off the table and pushes the stool aside with a rough grrr as it scrapes against the wood platform. He stands up, collects a hand crossbow on the bar, nods at you, and his eyes, cold as steel, linger on you momentarily as he turns away and makes his steps plodding back to his office behind the bar as it closes with a lock. It would go something like that. The tavern patrons, we put in a couple of things. So now we have audience with Taggart. So at this point, they've actually managed to convince Taggart to receive them. And they're going to learn a little bit more about Taggart when they get in here. So the beauty of using a published adventure, I do a lot of writing around these adventures anyway. When I work from a published campaign, I still treat it as framework, and then I add my own spin, tailor it. But part of the benefit, like I was saying, is really being able to pull some of the content, which takes some of the prep work out of it for me. Normally, I like to homebrew. I write everything from the ground up. But the specific purpose of this show that we're doing this for is the DM's Guild Feature Showcase. So I want to show this work as best I can. They've been kind enough to provide it to be featured, and I want to do that justice. So we'll try to keep it as true to form as we can. Where are we here? Hobart Taggart. So there's a little picture of Hobart that you'll see on screen. A meeting with Hobart Taggart. So this is where we are. We are... Did we get to this? Yeah, so here are the pieces that we can see in the notes here that I've collected that the patrons know about Hobart. So while they're waiting for Hobart, they can interact with, engage in the tavern, garner any information that they might find useful to help them in their further investigation of and what Hobart's involvement is in this plot that's playing out around Hillsvar. We did put a little bit in here on how they can wrest that information from Hobart. Okay, so I'm actually going to pull this down because I want to keep this in mind too. What Taggart knows. I want to keep this dynamic. So there's a dynamic where if they irritate him, then he's going to basically shut down. He's going to try to get rid of them. So I'm going to keep all of this, actually, except for the piece about the crossbow on the bar, because he's not really doing that at this point. We're going to add that right here. Get that back over. Get back over there. Formatting is also important, right? I'm a bit of a formatting nut, so. I spend more time making this look the way I want than I do actually writing the things about the things. Okay. It's not working me, so I'm going to make you do what I want you to do, Windows. Psh. You're not the boss of me. Okay. Do what I command. What the H? There you go. Okay, so we're going to get rid of the crossbow bar, but I do want to keep this other information handy because when they meet with Hobart, they're going to get the opportunity to explore this in a little bit more detail. So the characters show Hobart Taggart the note they've been given, then he reacts a little bit differently. He'll agree, and these are the things that Hobart knows. If asked about the letter, and this is how I create these notes too, I go through in detail, and then I paraphrase that detail down to a simple bullet point. The reason I like to do that is because when you're in the moment and you've got a million things going on in your head, you're trying to keep track of things, it's a lot easier to just look and reference the bullet points than it is to read through another paragraph. You want your players to kind of be sitting there while you read through and kind of fumble through your own notes, right? So this is done in the interest of making sure that we have good, succinct notes that are easy for us to reference in the heat of the moment and not get tongue-tied or distracted like we would if we were messing around with our own UI and camera dimensions live on stream, for example. Put them all in one hotkey on the number pads, only 1 to 9 for a different screen, then put a Sharpie for color letter. That's a really good idea, Seth Chaos. That is a good idea, and I may very well take you up on that. I never thought about that approach to hotkeys before. But you're right. That would be smart. If only I were also smart. So let's see. He was Hobart has been asked. So if they do show the letter, let's see. He'll reveal that he's been asked to as a liaison for the Nightingale. So he's been asked to be liaison for Nightingale. I'm going to say and offer, just so I know that this is information that he's going to offer if they give him the note and then ask him these questions. So he was asked to be liaison for Nightingale. Paid well with luxury and extravagance. Sells most of the items he's rewarded with. Only kept one piece, and it is... And actually, then he'll give a description of it. And he says the following. So whenever I'm making notes that I need to narrate or paraphrase to the players, I put them in block brackets or square brackets, and I bold them. After we do a little quick formatting here. Okay, so interestingly enough, he actually states that what I just paraphrased right here in this little section. So I'm going to move that above. So I can keep them in both places. And let's write a description for when they walk into Taggart's office. I'll write this and then I'll read it out. Oh my god. Okay. Not without some clear trepidation, Taggart slowly escorts you back to his office behind the bar. With a wordless nod to the barmaid behind the fine crafted wood, he pushes the plain gray pine door as it gives way to his office interior with barely a squeak. This inside is well decorated, though the walls bare save for one striking piece of art behind his desk. The desk itself is solid and sturdy, easy seating for four on its opposite side. He gestures for you to sit and waits a moment until he can be sure your conversation will not be audited by unwanted listeners. And then I'll go into, I recognize this beautiful penmanship as well as the N signature. I've dealt with this mysterious figure in the past to ship fenced goods. My dealings with this person have been quite lucrative. I've received payment in the form of artwork and jewelry, the likes of which I've never seen before. Just look at this tapestry. And then on the tapestry is a picture of the setting sun with several bird silhouettes, a nightingale to the right, a kestrel in the center, and a loon to the left. And those are all icons that will feature throughout the story. So it's kind of like I don't know, foreshadowing, I guess, if that's the right word. I don't know. Of course, let me know if you guys have any questions or thoughts about anything we're doing here as we go through. Happy to keep the lines of communique open, of course. How about some music? I don't know. You guys want some background music? I think I did this last time. Maybe that will help get us in the mood for adventure. The planning of adventure, the crafting of narrative, the true collaboration that goes into the weaving of these extraplanar occurrences that form the backdrop of our individual and party tapestries. Let's see here. Yeah, let's do this. Here we go. Can I do these? Yeah. Let's see here. Whoops. There we go. I realized my audio for the alerts was off. I'm sorry about that, gang. But I think we got everybody, right? Yeah, we got everybody. We're good. We're good. How are we doing there? You guys hear it? You guys hear that? There we go. There we go. Is that too loud? Not loud enough? You guys let me know. This is super interesting. Just cleaning your house a little and have this stream blaring on your speakers. Whatever works. Whatever works, y'all. Good. As long as it's interesting. As long as there's some value in it for you. Then I'm happy if you're happy. There we go. Okay. So, okay. So the tapestry. So then we want to describe the tapestry. And this will come in the same description. He gestures to a vista. He gestures to a sprawling vista across painted canvas that depicts 3 swooping silhouettes. A nightingale on the right, the center sports a diving kestrel, and on the left, a single loon, all against a setting sun on the watery horizon. Let's see, a DC... Oops, sorry, we need to... 3 sprawling, swooping... I realize we have to change this. It's 3 swooping bird-like silhouettes. And then I have to change this because they need a DC. They need a check for this. So this is how I write that. I'm going to go... this is a wisdom. Nature, I do the first 4 letters. And then the DC. DC 10. Is it intelligence? Wisdom, I think. It says it says intelligence in the book here, but I'm pretty sure nature is a wisdom check. And then that will give them this information. So I'll just put that here. So that's actually going to be its own entry. Let's see. There we go. Gotcha. Just so I remember to break it up, right? Because I'll read right past that and I'll forget it otherwise. All right, so that helps them identify the actual items on the tapestry. We can see a visual representation of it there. That's going to be important because these are going to be clues that are going to help tie them into the overarching story later in the campaign. Flight path acquired. I'm a forever DM, so getting into other people's prep flow and mindset about these things is always interesting. I love that, Flight. And actually, this segment, I used to do this all the time on the stream, and I kind of stopped for no real reason other than I started getting into news. But I'm so thankful that I have a community that is open with their feedback and they're not afraid to tell me what they want. And this is actually an advent of that feedback. I petitioned the community. I had like over 100 votes on it as to what people wanted to see more often in stream. And resoundingly, they actually wanted, our folks wanted less news. Like they wanted news on a weekly basis, which is what I now do. And they wanted a greater focus on game prep, design, the process, exactly as you said. So that's really important for me to hear back. So thank you very much for that. It's full circle. It's just, I'll do anything D&D, right? So it doesn't matter to me. It's no sacrifice for me to tailor whatever I'm producing. I'll do anything that's D&D oriented. So it's more important for me to hear that back from you folks, and we do things that we all enjoy, right? So that's really important to me. Thank you for that. I'm glad you're enjoying it. All right, then he goes into summarize. My guildmates probably know more about the identity of this figure than me. Okay, so he's talking a little bit more about the Nightingale. I might just have some banter back and forth with them, and one piece, the tapestry, and then he's going to go on further conversation. I don't really have to put that in. I just know what it's going to be. He's going to reveal a little bit more to help lead or give the characters their next lead, which is my guildmates probably know more about the identity of this figure, the Nightingale, than me. I might be able to wrangle up more information from the guild, but I need you to do something for me first. Classic, right? This is like every MMO in life. Like, yeah, I could probably help you with that, but first I need you to go collect 70 pig hides. Thanks, dick. Cass, make a little surprise drink for a good price. That, depending on the 12 side of the dice, is one of 4 effects that are random, 2 positive effect. I like that, Seth. Let's do it. Yeah, that's great. That's awesome. Let's do it. Let's call it. Let's bring that back up to the bar. When they come into the bar. So let's see. Gene Kestrel. What are we gonna call it, Seth? What do you want to call this drink or these drinks? Here's where they come into the bar. So let's do this. Let's just put it here. We'll make it signature drink. The PCs can order a signature drink that will have one of 4 effects. So we got a 1d12, right? Well, let's just make it a 1d4, right? We might as well just make it a 1d4. What do you think? Is that cool? So I'm going to use to do the maps, the surprise traps, because, yeah, because Murkesh would definitely touch it. Someone in the bag. Yeah, 1d4. All right, let's see. What are some effects that we can add to it? Let me know, and I'll come back up here. We'll plug it in. I'll start you off with, let's call it like double strength, which is not what it sounds like. It's actually going to force Constitution save. So we're going to do con. This is how our Constitution saves. Or save, rather. Save the con. DC. Let's make it high. Let's make it 15. Or immediate. Oh my god. I can't spell. Immediately drunk. So we'll make that 1. 1. You give me the other 3. You give me the other 3 effects. We have two negative, 2 positive, right? So we'll call that a negative because it'll give them disadvantage on a bunch of stuff. That'll be funny. All right. Hobart's mission. So next it's going to be what Hobart needs them to do. So we'll give them a little bit of back and forth to understand some things to pull this information out of Hobart. And then we're going to go into Hobart's mission. Recently his guildmates found him. Hey, what's up? The unknown Blevins has followed. Any relation to Ninja? The unknown Blevins, welcome. Thank you very much for the follow. Welcome to the Checkmates. You're part of an amazing community of incredible, warm tabletop and D&D aficionados, gurus, and enthusiasts, as well as video game enthusiasts. Don't be shy. Say hello in chat. Welcome, welcome. Thank you very kindly. It is unknown at this time. Very well. All right. Your secret is safe with us. We will respect your anonymity. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for finding us. Don't be shy. We're actually in the second section of the stream, which is about game prep, where I go through the process of designing these narratives campaigns on which to bring our wonderful players through as we craft our destinies and the all-encompassing story arcs that define where these wonderful tales go, and I hope you enjoy it. Are you a player yourself or DM, or what's your pleasure in that regard? Don't forget to click the bell. We hope to see you often. Seth, you are the bomb. Seth doing it pro style. Make sure your notifications are on, and don't be a stranger. Yeah, we have a lot of fun here. Highly interactive, so tell me how you're doing. How's your day going? Got to take a break, Dungeon Mistress. Get a drink. Get your glasses on to read this book. Have an amazing rest of the stream. Thanks so much for the answers and the info. Have a great day, and Seth and everyone for that matter. Dungeon Mistress, thank you. Folks like you make this worth doing what we're doing. Much appreciated. Thank you for your kind, endless generosity today. And I look forward to seeing you. I'll check you out tonight on stream. 6:30. 6:30, I think you said, right? ET, I'll check it out on your schedule, so we'll make sure we show up. Give you some love. The unknown Blevins, I've been listening for about 30 minutes and enjoying it. That's good. Trying to learn. Excellent. Well, that's what we're here for. And there you go. For the final send-off, another gifted sub from the Dungeon Mistress to the unknown Blevins. Unknown Blevins were now official. Thank you very much. Courtesy of Dungeon Mistress with more generosity. Just a cornucopia of warmth and love today. Thank you so much. Such a pleasure. Such a pleasure. Have a wonderful game and amazing stream tonight. Love you. Thank you kindly. And welcome, Unknown Blevins, officially to the Inner Circle. Congratulations and thank you on your Tier 1 sub. Welcome to the stream. Thank you kindly for your support. Dungeon Mistress as well, of course. Of course. Have a good night. Enjoy your weekend. I'm sure you will. I hope you get double that karma and more. Mwah! All right, with Hobart's mission, we're talking a little bit about what Hobart's now going to require from the party to try to loosen his tongue a little bit to give them the information that they need to continue their investigation over the Nightingale and what her grand machinations are and how she intends to continue to hold Hillsfar and the Hillsfar region in the grips of her deceitful devices. So, recently his guildmates found themselves in a spot of bother when they uncovered a previously collapsed redoubt across town from their guild house. At first, the chamber seemed all clear, but several of the excavators were suddenly beset by a swarm of rats. Although they cleared the rats out with ease, they quickly became clear that the vermin had been harboring a lycanthropic curse, which has rapidly spread through the ranks of the guild. You can convey this information using the following quotes. Thank you. Seeking to invest. So I'm going to now paraphrase these into my bullets to prompt me for the mission. Contracted lycanthropy. Which, of course, is the curse that causes shape-shifting into were creatures of all sorts and styles. As we know, lycanthropy causes people to uncontrollably turn into werefolk or werebeasts. So if they were infected by rats with lycanthropy, then presumably they are at peril of turning into were-rats. It's pretty gross. I hope not. I put some effect for the drink above. Sorry was welcoming and stuff. Oh, yes, thank you. Always, of course, you know, that's a good priority. Let's see what we got up here. So Seth had suggested that we create a house drink that provides some effects, interesting effects. Let's see. Okay, so 1 plus of a stat, 2 blurry vision, 3 sensitive hearing is a positive but also negative, depends on what happens. And 4 want to give away useful item to a random. All right, good stuff. I like that. So let's call the blurry vision the one I created, which is a constitution save against becoming supremely drunk. So this house drink, this signature drink, will have one of 4 effects: 2 positive, 1 negative, or one positive, 1 either or, and 2 negative. So double strength is 1. Save versus con, or become immediately drunk. 2 is, let's see. This is a plus of a stat. Let's call it empowered. Or let's call it, what's a good word for that? Yeah, let's just call it empowered. Unless you guys want to give me something better. Empowered. +1 to a random stat. 1d6. Then I'll just roll it up. 3. Let's call it excessively generous. Compelled to give items to a random NPC. I like that. Just a fun little homebrew thing we're throwing in here. 4 is... Oh, the hearing. The hearing. Let's say heightened sensitivity. And we'll call it like advantage on perception checks. But disadvantage in quiet areas. In quiet. But disadvantage on all checks in noisy areas. How long? For 1 hour, you think? All right, so our signature drink, courtesy of Seth Chaos in chat. With the PCs can order a signature drink, which is glowing drink. It's a green glowing or purple glowing drink in the bar when they arrive, just for fun, which will give them one of 4 effects on the 1d4 for 1 hour. If they roll a 1, double strength. They'll save versus constitution against a DC 15 or become immediately drunk, which will give them, you know, they'll be drunk and they'll have disadvantage on checks. Or 2 will give them empowered, +1 to a random stat, 1d6 roll. 3 on a D4 will give them excessively generous, where they are compelled to give items to a random NPC. I love this. That's great, man. And 4, heightened sensitivity. They'll get advantage on perception checks in a quiet environment, but disadvantage on all checks in noisy areas, which is interesting because they'll be going back and forth between the town, the city, and the underground. Very nicely done. And that's what I'm talking about. That's how we all come together to build adventure on Speaking Common every Saturday morning. 1 hour is enough, right? Yeah, watch them get number 3. Excessively generous. What if multiples of them get excessively generous and just start passing out all their stuff? I love it. That's great, man. I'm gonna tell them that was your idea when they start to hate me, though. Just so you know. All right, gang. That is time for game prep. Thank you all so much for joining me today on the Speaking Common weekly Dungeons and Dragons news, game prep, DM chat, tabletop chat, community chat, all things in between. We also got through our great segments this week, including the Speaking Common weekly news, Sage Advice Unfurled, D&D Rule Solution, and of course our DM and player tips this week. So if you're just joining and you did miss them, please do check out the VOD. I'll clip all that stuff and make it available after the stream. It's all organized in the video section of my channel. If you haven't done so already, please, my only ask is to throw me a little follow. Let me know you're listening. Free of cost. Means the world to me. And for the many of you who've enjoyed great gifted subs today, I'm so overwhelmed by the incredible generosity of my friends at How I Nerd, and of course our lovely friend Dungeon Mistress, who's playing tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Go check out her channel. You know you want to. She's playing Curse of Strahd. Wonderful folk. And spread the love too. Let's pay it forward. Share it around. I am so filled today. Thank you kindly. What can I say? Thank you very much. The Unknown Blevins, you learned a lot. That's all I want. That's all I ask. And if we can share that knowledge, we can share the love, we can enjoy this together. Keep this time protected, 11 a.m. every Saturday morning. I'll be here for you. We can turn out the world. We can just lose ourselves in adventure, hang out, swap stories, tips, secrets, talk about what we love, talk about what excites us, and set us up for an amazing weekend ahead. So, until next time, checkmates, thank you. Happy gaming. Be good to one another. And we'll see you next time for another stream right here on Shambazzle Games. I truly hope you have the best of weekends. Come on back on Monday for 2Play at 7 p.m. Eastern Time and 4 p.m. Pacific Time, where Steph and I will play couch co-op games together. Actually, we're continuing with The Last of Us 2. Which is getting really incredible. Steph freaks the hell out. She loses her shit all the time. It's hilarious. You won't want to miss it. Come back and see us on 2Play this Monday night. Much love, fam. Be good.